Hey, hey! I hope you're all doing well and enjoying this lovely weather. If you're watching this, presumably you're on our email list. And if you are on our email list, you will yesterday have received an email from us with information regarding our meetings this Sunday. Perhaps you haven't had the chance to read that email yet, but don't worry, that's what I'm here for. I'm going to read the email out to you, and I'll also be throwing in some explanations along the way as I go. So, dear church family, we are so grateful to all of you who completed the survey we sent out last week. Your responses have been very helpful to us as we have considered how best to plan for our Sunday gatherings. If you didn't get around to completing the survey yet, your response would still be appreciated. Better late than never. Seriously, we're so grateful. You know, we don't always get great responses to our surveys. The number of them that are completed, it can be quite a low percentage. But this one has probably had one of our best responses yet, and we have really needed them in order to plan for this week. So again, if you still haven't done it, please do. Many of you indicated that you will be staying home for the time being and tuning in to the live stream of our worship and teaching times. Instructions for doing so will be sent to you before Sunday. It should go without saying by this stage that if you do not feel well or know that you have been exposed to someone who is unwell, particularly with COVID-19, or if you fall into one of the high-risk categories, or if you interact with someone who falls into one of those categories, you should stay home for your own sake and for the sake of others. If you are intending to join us in person, please come to the meeting you indicated in the survey, as responses to the two proposed times were fairly evenly split. It's great that it worked out that way. The meetings will run from 9 until 10:15 and from 10:45 until 12 p.m. and they will start promptly. So please arrive here in order to be in place for a prompt start at 9 o'clock and at 10:45. When arriving and parking near our building, please be considerate of our neighbours by ensuring your car is at least 6 feet away from driveway entrances. Those of you who were part of the church here when we used to meet here on a regular basis will know that it was always very important to us that we were considerate to our neighbours in this way by making sure that we were parking in a way that didn't inconvenience them. Now, I'm sure they've been pretty happy that we haven't been meeting here for the last 2 years. But let's not make them unhappy by the fact that we're back. We ask that you please enter the main meeting room via the front foyer, though you can still enter the building via the door from the parking lot. So come into the building from either of the doors, but if you're coming in from the parking lot, please walk down the corridor to the main foyer and come into the meeting room through those double doors. Our welcomers will be wearing masks, as some of you no doubt will also. Welcomers will hold doors open for you and may assist in finding a seat for you. However, they will not be initiating hugs or handshakes, and we ask everyone to be conscious that others may not currently be comfortable with this type of greeting. Everyone has to be conscious of that, including me. Contrary to what I said at the beginning of my teaching a few weeks ago when I said I was looking forward to hugging everyone, really, I will be sensitive. I won't be going to hug everyone. We have significantly reduced the number of seats in our main room and have increased the spacing between rows. We will also be asking people to be mindful of social distancing advice by leaving seats empty between family or household groups. Now, we're asking people to be mindful of social distancing advice, and we're not going to force people to socially distance. And we recognize that even there may be people beyond your family or household group that you've already been interacting with, and so therefore you still want to sit alongside them. Again, we're not going to force anybody to sit anywhere in particular. We just want everybody to be considerate of one another and mindful of recommendations that we've been given. We will be keeping count of those entering the room and will only allow a number that permits appropriate distancing, which will obviously be less than the actual number of seats So we've been doing calculations, saying, okay, even taking some of the chairs out of the room, if we're not having people sitting in every seat, how many people could we actually have in this room and still allow adequate distancing? Once we've reached that number, that capacity, we will be asking people to go down to the lower level where the worship times and the teaching times will be linked live to a TV screen. Now, I fully appreciate that this could be frustrating if you come to the meeting, but then find that when you arrive, we're stopping you at the door and saying, I'm sorry, we can't let anybody else into the room. Could be especially frustrating if you're looking past us and seeing that there are empty seats. But of course, those seats will be empty for a reason. So in those circumstances, we would ask, please, if you would go down to the lower level. Now again, you might be thinking, oh, I'm not going to have the same experience if I'm down there. But you will still be with members of your church family. So it'll be still different to just being at home. And there will probably be more room to distance downstairs as well. We anticipate starting with some administrative announcements, followed by a worship time of around 30 minutes, some more brief announcements, then a teaching lasting around 30 minutes. There will not be a break during the meeting, but you should feel free to leave to use the bathroom at any point. We're not having a break because obviously our meetings will be shorter anyway, but also if we were to have a break, then everybody would be going to the bathroom at the same time, and we wouldn't want that to be happening. So at least this way, you can leave and go to the bathroom whenever you want to. As mentioned in the survey, there will be no childcare or children's classes provided at our meetings, at least for the month of June. Offering bags will not be passed, but we will have offering buckets by the main doors at the back. Remember, you can always give online. And no food or beverages will be served before or after the meeting. Because of the shorter duration of our meetings, we encourage you to seek the Lord ahead of time for prophetic words and to submit them to info@livinglightchurch.com, indicating which meeting you will be attending. We're doing this because it will help with the flow of our meetings, but also as someone who will be leading the meeting along with Cal, I don't particularly want people coming up close to me and trying to shout in my ear over the music. So please think ahead. You know, in 1 Corinthians 14, verse 26, it says, when you come together, each one has. It doesn't just say, when you come together, each one will get. So you can come already having something that you've received from the Lord as you sought him ahead of time. So, in conclusion, though we have spent a lot of time in prayer, thought, and in discussion in anticipation of this weekend, this will be a new experience for us, and we will no doubt have to make some adjustments for successive weeks. We'll see things that we could do better next week and the week after. We're confident that you'll be patient and gracious with us. We look forward to our time with you on Sunday. And in the meantime, have a great weekend.